Quest Mildura brings a new level of accommodation to Mildura. This brand new facility features spacious, fully self-contained apartments ranging from studio to 3 bedrooms, boasting complimentary on-site secure parking, an outdoor heated pool and barbecue area. Quest Mildura is your perfect travel companion.
P10 College has been left reeling after news one of its most experienced and well-loved teachers has been killed overnight in an accident. Liz Hanson-Lucas was holidaying in Abu Dhabi with her husband, Mildura East Cricket Club President Jeff Lucas, when tragedy struck.
Students and teachers at Moorbeen P10 College have been left devastated by news textiles and library teacher Liz Hanson-Lucas has been killed while holidaying with her husband overseas. She leaves behind 2 daughters and husband Jeff.
Liz was a highly respected and highly regarded teacher and a colleague and a friend, and it's hit everybody pretty hard. The
college students and staff were briefed on the incident this morning and have been offered counselling.
She was an outstanding teacher, highly competent, very creative and innovative, and just passionate about teaching and learning and kids, and always aimed for a high level of excellence in everything that she did.
The education community and sporting clubs the couple are highly involved in are rallying behind the family.
It's a terrible loss to the community, and all we can do now, I guess, is support Jeff when he comes home. He will need that support because they are a very close couple.
He's a larger-than-life character, and it's a really sad time, and when he comes back to Mildura, I'm sure everybody will support him.
Details of the accident in Abu Dhabi are sketchy at this stage, but it's believed the couple were both involved.
Jeff, of course, is a high-profile person in this town, and any person that has a profile like that always has a backstop, and that was his wife.
Gemma Thomas, Win News.
The next generation of farmers has had a hands-on experience learning the importance of workplace safety on the land. Nearly 200 students took part in workshops ranging from firearms protocol to safety near water at an expo near Oyen.
Around 500 serious injuries are reported on Victorian farms each year, while many more go unmentioned. It's estimated workplace accidents and deaths on farms cost Australian agriculture more than $1 billion a year. The Oyen Farm Safety Expo plays a vital role in educating the next generation of farmers.
If we get them young and get them when they're impressionable, we feel as though that's the most effective way for farming to be safer in the future.
8 schools took part in 16 workshops based on safety around machinery, farm vehicles, fuels and firearms, to first aid procedures and DPI-run sessions on hazardous chemicals.
Farm safety is about survival, but more realistically for us, it's also about empowering the kids to be educators for their parents too.
With everything we do, it's sort of a learned process, and if you don't learn the right instructions or processes around especially farms, then accidents do occur.
The safety message extends beyond children who live on farms to those who might be visiting friends or relatives. It helps to highlight the dangers they might otherwise be unaware of.
Farmers are much more educated, they're much more aware, but nevertheless it's sometimes hard to put that barrier up and say, well, this is also a work site, not just our home, and it's great to reinforce and revisit that all the time.
Tom Kelly, Win News.
Central Victorian wine growers fear a labelling scam in China could seriously harm the Australian industry. They say Australian wine labels are being copied and used to sell cheap wines on the Chinese market, but the trick is how to prove it.
Cheap Rolexes, Gucci handbags and fake Tiffany's are a traveller's delight overseas. Now there are fears fraudsters are relabelling cheap wine with Australian brands.
You will see Bordeaux's and Scotch malt whiskies and all these things, and you have to question, well, where did they come from? How come they're so cheap?
It may be bulk Australian export wine, or of more concern to the industry, it's cheap Chinese wine masquerading as Australian. And with a population of more than 1.3 billion, there are concerns copyright laws are nigh impossible to police in China.
I think you have to still try and control it. Not good for the people that produce the wine.
It's a catch-22 for Australian producers seeking export opportunities.
We export over 23 million litres of bulk wine. It has to find labels. Now, we're never sure what those labels are.
For some operations, proving the wine is fake may simply be too hard. Some wine growers have gone as far as ordering tests on the contents of bottles to prove their case.
The Australian Wine and Brandy Corporation will hopefully gather some facts and perhaps make contact or communicate with the Chinese authorities.
Elizabeth McDonald, Win News.
New figures show spending by international visitors in Victoria has reached an all-time high. Tourism Research Australia's International Visitors Survey shows visitors from around the globe spent a record $3.9 billion in the past financial year, 7.5% more than in the previous year, while visitor spending in regional Victoria from Gippsland to the Murray regions and the High Country was up by almost $300 million. Police across Australia are cracking down on alcohol-fuelled crime and violence this weekend, launching Operation Unite. Health professionals have welcomed the initiative, saying it could contribute to a much-needed cultural change.
Police forces across Australia and New Zealand are uniting for a weekend of action.
To continue to deal with the sorts of problems that sadly we see play out in our streets on a regular basis across weekends, both here in Melbourne, regional Victoria, across Australia and in New Zealand.
Health professionals hope the show of force will be a catalyst for cultural change around binge drinking.
I think there's no doubt that as a community we have a real problem with a failure to understand the risks associated with alcohol misuse.
Pub owner Ian Larkin says violence tends to occur outside venues and licensees are doing what they can.
We have security, we have cameras, we have staff with RSA, and the fines that are put on our premises, it's a lot of money.
He's welcomed on-the-spot fines for patrons refusing to leave premises when drunk, violent, quarrelsome or disorderly.
And coming into a special time of the year now, with all the football trips, netball trips, spring carnivals, we do need all the help we can get on the streets.
Health workers say young people must understand the risks before heading out if the binge drinking culture is to change.
But a lot of the work that community health does in schools is targeted at young people and their awareness of the risks and how to keep themselves and their friends safe.
We're going to continue to do our bit, but we really need support from right across the community to help us to continue to deal with this problem.
Nathan Tanti, Win News.
The state government will spend $12 million to trial 2 new firebombing planes. The Convair 580 bombers will arrive in Victoria later this year and be based at airports around the state, including Mildura. Along with a new air crane from Ericsson and 4 fixed-wing planes, Victoria's aerial firefighting arsenal stands at 48 aircraft, with a further 170 on standby. Researchers are investigating a link between insufficient sleep in early life and childhood obesity. A study has found children under the age of 5 who have fewer than 10 hours sleep each night are more at risk of becoming obese by the end of primary school.
The research found more than 30% of children under the age of 5 who didn't get enough shut-eye at night gained too much weight. Mother of 2, Claire Flanagan-Smith, believes there's much more to it than that.
At the end of the day, it comes down to culture and family and just eating well and exercising for us.
Researchers have long believed there's a correlation, but the study still doesn't identify the reason behind it.
We grow while we're sleeping. It could be because of the hormones that are involved, but it also could just be that kids that are tired don't have the energy to get up and run around and engage in physical activity.
The study is aimed at curbing the levels of obesity in Western countries, assessing almost 2,000 children in the United States. As yet, no link to obesity has been established in older children or adults who get less than 10 hours sleep.
I think at this stage they've just established it in children and they wouldn't want to make the jump to adulthood just yet. But it is exciting research in terms of obesity prevention.
Researchers say nighttime sleep can't simply be substituted with daytime napping, which only provides benefits to concentration and behaviour.
Yeah, they're definitely better if they've had a good sleep overnight and an uninterrupted sleep overnight.
Elizabeth McDonald, Win News.
And coming up after the break on Win News, embracing renewable energy in the home and an update on the floods across regional Victoria.
Welcome to Hotel Perth, where sleazy staff secretly film guests.
It's clearly an abuse of these people's rights.
Now the shameful videos they don't want you to see. Plus, the science of shopping.
Ready, steady, shop.
We get inside your brain to find out what women really want.
Very, very happy.
A current affair tonight.
Woolworths have been reducing the price on some of your favourite brands. Like SPC baked beans or spaghetti 4x2 20 gram was $3.73, now $3.38. Get more in your trolley for less at Woolworths.
Every day, millions of customers rely on our energy as part of their world. As one of Australia's largest energy companies, we're focused not only on the gas and electricity needs of our customers today, but also on investing in a future of cleaner energy and smarter energy thinking. After all, we're investing in a tomorrow that all our customers can depend on. True energy, today and tomorrow.
Vast Outdoors has a new shipment of beautiful water features and garden-grade glass pots. With all pots at wholesale prices, they're selling fast. Be quick, they won't last. Vast Outdoors, growing for you. 15th Street, Mildura.
At Jalna, we simply take pure milk and friendly cultures, put a lid on, and let nature do the rest. So unlike most yogurts, ours is pot set with no added cane sugar, no preservatives, no gelatin and starches, and no colouring. At Jalna, we don't add anything artificial. So you know what you're eating is pure. Jalna, a little pot of purity.
Right now, you'll find it really is a great time to upgrade to a brand new Ford. Like the Territory TX rear-wheel drive, a real family favourite. It features a 5-star ANCAP rating with the safety of dynamic stability control, dual front and side curtain airbags, plus it's powered by a smooth and responsive 6-cylinder engine. But the really amazing thing? It's only $35,990 drive away. So with great deals across the range, where do you go for the upgrade you really want? Your local Ford dealer, right now.
Melbourne fire authorities continue to provide emergency relief to residents isolated by floodwaters in the northeast of the state. It comes as homeowners in Wangaratta breathe a sigh of relief after a damaged levee protecting the area held up through the night.
The flood watermark in Wangaratta's CBD has receded by up to 6 metres since the weekend's deluge.
The situation in Wangaratta has pretty well stabilised. We're starting to see a steadying and in some areas a lowering in the water levels in the rivers.
But further out of town, the waters continue to pose a threat to residents' livelihood.
Yeah, our main task has been to assist the local SES headquarters here.
Near Stamps Lane, Melbourne fire authorities are helping about 10 households cut off by the floods. The emergency visits are to ensure the welfare of residents, as well as drop off any supplies needed. Despite being isolated from the floodwaters, many residents around here remain in high spirits. They've experienced the floods in 93 and 98 and were prepared for what could happen following the weekend's deluge.
The reports are getting back, that most people are safe and comfortable there.
The declared emergency zone at Wilson Road has been lifted after a levee bank protecting up to 60 homes held up, but authorities continue to keep non-residents away from the area.
The one issue that remains of concern to us in particular is the Wilson Road levee.
Authorities have also warned residents to beware of snakes and other wildlife displaced by the floods. Rain forecast tomorrow is expected to delay the waters receding. James Oaten, WIN News.
And flood warnings could soon be replaced with health warnings. Authorities say residents across regional Victoria should prepare for an outbreak of mosquito-borne diseases, with the floods creating ideal breeding conditions.
General practitioners are warning the mosquito threat could last for months now floodwaters are starting to recede across the state. Dr Graham Jones says there is a real potential for an outbreak of Ross River fever.
So it tends to then track down from up north, and when there's been floods in Queensland and through New South Wales, well then this increases the likelihood that we'll see some Ross River and then Barmah forest virus infection as well.
Stagnant pools of water lying around the region in the wake of the floods will make ideal breeding grounds for mosquitoes. A female mosquito can lay thousands of eggs in a matter of weeks.
And also some of the animals that are a vector in the virus getting into the mosquitoes, particularly ducks, are a lot more prevalent.
While not fatal, both Ross River fever and the Barmah forest virus can make sufferers extremely ill. Dr Jones says initially people will get flu-like symptoms.
So fevers, sweats, just feeling dreadful, but then they quite often get joint problems.
Dr Jones says to guard against the viruses, residents should protect themselves against mosquitoes by wearing insect repellent and being aware of the time of day mosquitoes are more prevalent, particularly in the evenings. He says residents should ensure their home is well protected and not leave water lying around in containers, while fly screens should be checked, screens placed over chimneys and insect sprays used in the home where necessary. Sue-Ann McCumsty, Win News.
Tasco Inland has acquired a new service station site in Mildura on Deakin Avenue and 13th Street. The local fuel outlet stepped in and acquired the Caltex site on September 1. Irimble Secondary College will hold a Footy Colours Day on Friday to raise money and awareness of men's health issues and prostate cancer. A football game with teachers versus Year 9 and 10 boys will be held. And Little Day Out will be held at the Mildura Showgrounds on Friday from 9 o'clock. The event gives Sunraysia families a chance to let their hair down with live entertainment and information stalls. Owners of some of the nation's most environmentally friendly houses are preparing to throw open their doors to the public this Sunday. 60 homes across Victoria, including properties in Baronga and Mildura, will be demonstrating a sustainable way of living during this year's Sustainable House Day.
Neil Hawkswell began building his home in Gippsland in 1995. 15 years later, and he's now off the grid. Like many Victorians, Neil has made the transition to renewable energy. And this Sunday, he'll be showing other homeowners how to do likewise, urging them to think green.
In the future, the sustainability of the house will have an impact on what its value is.
Neil has combined the latest technology with traditional methods, utilising the environment to manage heating and cooling of his home.
They're cooler in summer and they're warmer in winter, and in a climate like Gippsland, what more can you ask for?
His house faces north, allowing internal brick walls to absorb the sun, while solar panels generate electricity, heat water and power an air heater.
It's putting probably the equivalent of about